Hi everyone, welcome to Prevention Education, the podcast that teaches you everything about prevention. Thanks for listening, and let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome back to our podcast. I'm Kylie, and I'm a prevention specialist with Preferred Family Healthcare Prevention. And with me today, I have Abby Newland. So Abby, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi. So I'm Abby Newland. I'm a service area coordinator with Preferred Family Healthcare. I have worked here for 7 years. And so I cover service area 14, which is kind of the Eastern region, Macon, Kirksville, Knox, Scotland, that kind of realm.
Yeah. Abby is a superstar in her position. So we are very lucky to have her in the prevention department. So today what we're going to talk about is something called hidden in plain sight. And this is something that we are really passionate about as a prevention department because it can really help the youth in our community and it can bring awareness to adults, whether they're parents or teachers or aunts, uncles, anyone that's involved with youth. It can bring awareness to them on how to kind of help their youth and notice things that might not be noticed in everyday life. So, Abby, do you want to kind of start off with what a general look at hidden in plain sight is?
Yeah, absolutely. So hidden in plain sight is really like a lot of coalitions do virtual hidden in plain sight rooms or in-person hidden in plain sight rooms. And the whole idea around it is that times are changing, right? And kids have gotten so creative and there's so many things available on the market to hide drugs, alcohol, prescription medication, all of this stuff that it's becoming very, very hard for chaperones and parents and, security guards, anything you can think of to find these things, and keep people safe, whether it's at an event or in your home, or, you send your friend or your kid to a friend's house, but you can't control what's in their house, those environments. And so those things rely on their parents, right? And so hidden in plain sight is just a variety of items. And so we're going to have a training in November, just to kind of show parents and adults just what's out there and what to look for. I remember when I was younger, it was very simple. You hid stuff outside or whatever you did. But nowadays kids can go on Amazon and just buy there's a whole different step. There's stash clothes, there's like soda cans, there's deodorant, there's chapstick, there's a clock, there's soles for your shoes, there's scarves, jewelry, even, all these different items that never used to be a thing. But now people have gotten so creative and you can hide drugs, alcohol, money, knives. It's kind of alarming, like all the things you can do. And this is like at people's fingertips, right? Kids' fingertips. I'm sure a lot of teenagers have access to their parents' Amazon account, or, some of these items are sold in gas stations and especially like weed shops. So a lot of this stuff is available in that. And some of these, I don't know, like hidden pockets, and a lot of hats have like stash zippers up there, and a lot of them are smell proof. So then you think about like schools have drug dogs, or the airport people have, drug dogs, things like that, but they make all these smell proof pockets now. And so we do hidden in plain sight trainings in a lot of DFC coalitions, the drug-free community coalitions, and they do a lot of these trainings for parents because people don't know, right? If you don't look for that stuff on Amazon, it would never come up, right? I didn't know about this till a couple years ago. There's YouTube videos on there to show kids how to make your own, and how to hide it, like with a can of peaches, you cut out the bottom and then you can put a magnet but it's just random stuff. And so as coalitions, as PRCs, we try to help educate people on that there's all this stuff out there. And so that you have to look deeper than the surface these days. So you have to actually open things now. You have to open the chapstick. You have to open the Monster. If there's a can of water or a bottle of water on your kid's desk that's been there for 4 months and has never been drank, it might be a fake bottle of water, right? And so looking into things like that will help keep your kids safe, their friends safe, and it just helps you be more aware. But
and I think a good point that you brought up is the fact that you can buy them online. Like Amazon is a huge seller of these, but also they can make them. And so it will look very real because it is real, but you open it up. That's the huge thing, is you have to open it up. And it might sound like you're snooping, but it's also for your kids' safety. Like if there's something that's been there, like you said, a water bottle on their desk for months, it's kind of a little suspicious. And as a parent, as a guardian, you should look at that and make sure that everything's okay and that it's actually a water bottle.
Yeah, absolutely. And the best thing we can do as like adults is be good role models because, things like alcohol, we are such socially norm and acceptable. And I see a lot of adults buy the bracelets that you can put booze in and they're so excited, right? And I can take booze into a concert now because I'm an adult. I can do whatever I want. And that's great for you at the time. But guess who's watching you is all the kids in your life. And they see that that's what you want and that's what you're using it for. And there's nothing to say that that's wrong. You like it, you're excited, you did it, so it must be okay for me. So being a good role model, and not encouraging that stuff and not promoting negative behavior like that is what we can really, really do as role models for our kids.
Yeah. What would you suggest? So say in a school setting, like you're a teacher and you notice that a student has, I don't know, a monster on their desk that's never open and it's just like casually with them all the time. How would you maybe approach that as a teacher if you think that something that's kind of hidden?
I think that's a good question because I definitely think those situations come up more than you think. Kids want to feel trusted, right? Not that we're always accusing them of something negative. So definitely approaching everything as like an I statement. So like saying the non-confrontational, right? So I've noticed this monster can's never open. Like, would you mind if we talked about it? Or is there something you'd like to tell me? Or I just have concerns that maybe it's not an actual monster.
Yeah.
And, leave it open, let them answer. You can't come into something like that being very like, I think you're hiding drugs in your monster can, give it to me. We know those situations don't end up well. We all know that. So open conversation, I statement, very soft. If they're very like argumentative or private or, refuse, then maybe it's like, okay, well, I think this is out of my hands now. So we might have to involve somebody else. And being very vocal instead of being secretive. Like we don't want to go behind anybody's back, adults or youth, to be like, well, I'm going to call the principal, right? It's involve them in the conversation, give them options, let them know I'm here and I notice and I see what you're doing because that's a protective factor for kids, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times they don't think we're paying attention. And so when they are told, I see you, I hear you, I am paying attention, it's a game changer for a lot of kids, right? And that's a boundary. Like,
Yeah. And what age do you think kids would start engaging in this behavior of hiding all of this stuff in plain sight?
I mean, I really think like preteens probably. I think maybe 12, 13 personally.
Yeah.
Just from like personal experience and other teenagers I know. But then I also think, if they have little siblings, they're easily influenced, and little kids will hide things like toys and their older siblings hide your stash items or, they get a hand-me-down hoodie with a hide your stash pocket. And, when they're 8, they're hiding a toy in it, but then quickly realize that they can hide money in it and, all kinds of things, vapes.
That's a really good point that it can start so young just because they're hiding toys. It's a really good point.
Yeah, it's just the idea, right? That like I can do it. What else can I put in here? What else can I get away with?
Yeah.
So, and then it just becomes a learned behavior. So,
Okay. As an adult, how can you kind of prevent, since we are prevention, how can you prevent this from happening before you even see like a potential device that's hiding something? Before it even comes to that, how can you prevent? How am I trying to phrase this? Do you know what I'm trying to say? How can you
yes,
prevent that from happening before?
like the behavior.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Sometimes it's hard to find words.
Yes, it is.
I would say like conversations about like education. Like I definitely personal and professional, right? The earlier we talk to people about like drugs, alcohol, substances, boundaries, the rules of society, all of that, the more informed people are and the more they can make informed decisions. And so, if we talk to our kids about money and about the boundaries of society and about the dangers of being caught with stuff or the legal consequences and the environmental consequences and, hit them. You can't always just scare people with like health stuff. Years of this, right? We think about like don't smoke or abstinence and things like that. Like we know that doesn't work. So we always have to go the approach of like, get people in their feelings, what's important to them. So if they're a really money conscious person, focusing on that. If they love the environment, focusing on that, about just that these items aren't recyclable, or these items are made by horrible companies like big tobacco, and they're just trying to make a profit off you. And nobody likes to get manipulated. So I always encourage people to talk to young people about that, because they don't realize that, right? That this is just a ploy to like, this is just another thing to suck you into this world of vaping and marijuana, and it's cool, and this is a whole big thing. So you got to buy this, and you need to wear this. And there's a lot of brands of clothing now for teenagers where everything in that brand is like a weed logo or a nicotine logo or something like that. And then it has stash pockets and everything, right? So there's lines completely dedicated to that. But just talking, I don't know, conversations early, education early about all of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So with the training that you mentioned at the beginning, what can people expect out of that training?
That's a great question. So the training will be very like cut and dry. It'll be very interactive. A lot of it will be looking at fake items versus real items, and how to recognize maybe some of those items to make it easier for parents and chaperones and teachers and everything to get that stuff early, and not let kids just pull wool over your eye. A lot of it will be comparing. We're going to show some videos of maybe how some things are actually utilized, or some scenarios. And then we're really going to talk about like how you can approach these situations if you do find them, and what you can do moving forward to kind of correct that behavior, or because you don't want to ruin relationships, right? Like we still want kids to trust us. We want them to know that we care. There's boundaries. So how to move forward from that. And that'll be the big takeaway probably from the training. Perfect.
That sounds great. So if anyone is listening to this and you are interested, definitely feel free to email us at moprevention. So it's MO prevention at pfh.org, or you can go to our website, pfh.org/prevention, and email Abby. You just have to scroll down on our staff page and you'll see Abby and her picture, and you can click on that and it'll take you to her email. So you can email her directly and she can send you all the details for this. As of right now, it'll be in November, and I believe it's November 8th, and it'll be at 11 a.m. So if you guys are free and you're interested, definitely sign up and let us know that you want to come to that. But so Abby, what is one final thing that you want to leave the listeners with on this topic?
If there was just like one big message, it would probably just be to pay attention, right? Like we're all adults. Some of us have kids, some of us don't, but like everybody knows a kid. Everybody interacts with them in some way, some form, whether it's community volunteering, at school, personal, friends, whatever it might be. But if we're all paying attention and we're all talking to the kids about the things that we notice, then there's no separation, right? Yeah. And there hopefully will be more connectedness and bonding, and less, I feel the need as a kid to be secretive, and I feel like I have to hide this because I can't talk to the adults in my life, right? And so if we pay attention, set boundaries, and talk about things, and keep those windows and doors open for kids to talk to us, hopefully it'll eliminate some of this negative behavior and some of that hiding things that we shouldn't be hiding type of behavior.
Yeah, what a great message. Fantastic. Well, Abby, thank you so much for joining me on this podcast today. And if you're listening, thank you so much for listening in. And we hope that you can listen to other podcasts that we have on our channel as well. But thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day, and we will hopefully talk to you guys all soon. Bye, everyone.
Yeah. Bye, guys. Thanks.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into our podcast. Remember to follow us on social media at PFH Prevention. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Spotify, and more podcasting platforms. And make sure to email us at moprevention@pfh.org with any questions, and feel free to call us at 660-627-7404. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.